merchant ships. It is a dying town. River Spring is dying.
Forgive my boldness, noble stranger, but I cannot let you walk into certain death like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not sure of the customs in the free cities nowadays, but I wouldn't dream of entering Westerer's arm like that. And yet, as the smith labours day and night for us, it so happens that I sell the finest weapons. Blunt, cutting, perforating, you know what they say, my lord. Don't buy your blade until you know what you plan to stick it into.
Tell me more about cutting weapons.
The most popular. I know of no weapon passed down through families that is not a sword, my lord, and there are good reasons for that. Cutting weapons are especially designed to fight against light armor such as leather, and even the skin underneath. Do you need more information?
Tell me more about cutting weapons.
The most popular. I know of no weapon passed down through families that is not a sword, my lord, and there are good reasons for that. Cutting weapons are especially designed to fight against light armor such as leather, and even the skin underneath. Do you need more information?
I have things to do.
Don't hesitate to come back and see me in the Merchant Square. I weep to see you so ill-equipped in this town. And don't forget you'll be wanting armor. After all, no matter the weapon you face, simple clothes will not protect you.
Very nice robe you've got there.
Halt, priest. This town is in mourning. Access to the castle is closed during the ceremony.
I'm actually here to attend Lord Sarwyck's burial.
I'm afraid that's not possible. I'm under strict orders to only allow entry to close kin. With the villagers' current grumblings, we don't want to risk problems.
I am Lord Reynold Sarwyck's eldest son, and I am here to attend my father's funeral.
His eldest son? Do you take me for a fool? I have been at my post for more than 5 years, and I have never once seen your face.
It has been more than 5 years since I left River Spring. Please call on Mr. Harwin. He knows of my arrival.
Well, we'll see about that, but I doubt he'll come here for you. The ceremony's about to start. John, go find Maester Harwin.
What is going on here? Why has John gone for the Maester?
Ryman, it's me, Alester.
Several hells! Alester? Graydon, I told you only family. That excludes peasants, dogs, and cravens who abandon their families.
Enough, Ryman. However long I was absent, this house is still mine.
How dare you! You disappeared without so much as a goodbye years ago, and now you return as if nothing happened.
The reasons for my exile are mine alone. I owe you no explanation.
I care about your reasons? It's your fault that Lord Sarwyck is dead.
You've lost your head, cousin.
Your departure destroyed him. He was never the same again.
Your judgment is clouded, Ryman. I can smell the ale on your breath from here.
What? Stand back! I'll make you eat your words, priest!
Enough. Do you not think we have enough dead here?
Mr. Harwin?
Alester, finally. I prayed for your return.
This traitor no longer has his place here, Maester Harwin. He abandoned his castle and his family.
7 gods. Get a hold of yourself, Ryman. I wrote to him to invite him to Lord Sarwyck's funeral.
I prefer to leave than to hear more of this.
Alester, what a relief it is to finally see you. I had help from my contacts in Bravos to inform you of your father's death. The funeral will be in the Godswood. The ceremony has already begun.
Why is it not held at the Sept?
It would be if it were not in ruins. River Spring is suffering on all fronts, I fear. Let us go now. Come with me, Alester. Let us speak as we walk.
What happened here, Maester? How could my father allow things to get to this point?
You know... After you left, Lord Reynold changed. He began to live more and more in the past, and stopped taking care of his duties. Your sister quickly found herself managing more than she should have.
Eliana helped my father govern?
Well, these last few months, she's practically run the house herself. In spite of her efforts, she was unable to slow the inevitable ruin of her lands without a lord. But all is not so dark. Many of your father's vassals remain faithful to their oath. They have all come to the burial in order to honor his memory. We will speak of all this again after the ceremony. Let us make haste, I beg of you.
Hello, Red Priest. I am Lady Eliana Sarwyck, daughter of the late Lord Sarwyck. You are just in time for the ceremony. Were you close to my father?
You have changed much in 15 years, little sister.
Alester, why have you returned? We don't need you here.
Harwin told me of father's death. It was my duty to come.
15 years without any news. And he had to die for us to see you again. You would have done better to stay where you were.
I do not doubt that my departure was difficult for you.
Difficult? To say the least. Your disappearance was our father's ruin. Do you know how long I cried after you left? And how long I hoped for news of you?
I am sorry. I left Westeros without once turning back, it's true. I understand your reaction. It must have been unbearable for you, but I had to leave. Know that I never forgot you.
That's easy for you to say. And you should know that we here learn to live very well without you.
I understand your reaction, Eliana.
I doubt it. Go pay your last respects to father. We will speak later.
May the stranger, the eternal outcast, now guide you to the Father. And may he judge you fairly and deliver you from the torments of the 7 hells.
You should follow
Your
his
qualities
example.
were many. Above all else, you placed the
Who is that man?
I believe that is the elder Sarwyck, the one who disappeared. He has certainly changed, but I recognize him.
How could you desecrate our father's body that way?
I desecrated nothing. I performed the final kiss, the tribute that priests of R'hllor pay to the dead.
You may be a Red Priest, but you should respect the beliefs of Riverspring.
I did not intend to be disrespectful, little sister.
Do not think that it is easy for me to speak with you after all this time.
This is all water under the bridge now. At the time, I saw no other way. 15 years ago, the war that King Robert Baratheon fought to claim the throne forced me to commit deeds which haunt me still. The very idea of returning to you was too painful. I did the only thing left for me to do. I left and began a new life elsewhere. Not long ago, I received a letter from Maester Harwin telling of Father's death. I could no longer hide myself. It was time to confront my past. What I regret the most, Ilyana, is that by fleeing to the other side of the waters, it is you whom I wounded.
All these years, I have thrown a veil over your memory. And you return at the moment when everything is in turmoil. I must be alone for the moment. I will see you later, Alester.
Take your time, little sister. I understand.
Alester, Maester Harwin would like to speak with you. He awaits you in the castle courtyard. And if I may add, you should be ashamed of that kiss during the ceremony.
My thanks, Ravella. I shall go and see him.
Ah, Alester, there you are. Please leave us. So, you're not too unsettled by the situation here?
I spoke to Ilyana. She has still not accepted my absence.
That's not surprising. She has suffered much since you left. She had toughened against the pain. But now that you are back, she would not know how to react.
I understand her anger. I pray for things to improve with time.
You are not the sole cause of her unhappiness. As I told you, Ilyana took over managing the lands when your father began to fade. She moved heaven and earth to try to get Riverspring out of this mire.
Our family has always served House Lannister with loyalty. What have they done to help us?
For 15 years your father refused to speak with them. But after his death, Ilyana requested an audience with Queen Cersei Lannister. The audience did not go well, and the Queen will only help us once Riverspring has a new lord at its head. So your sister worked towards this end. Riverspring has belonged to House Sarwyck for generations. Ilyana has refused to marry a lord from any other house. So, the Queen has chosen a man for your sister.
Who is it?
Valar, your father's bastard son, your half-brother.
Valar? I left Westeros hoping never to hear that name again. It is out of the question for my sister to marry him. He shares our blood. How can the Queen condone a marriage which goes against nature?
You realize that if Ilyana were to wed another lord, she would take her husband's name. Being a bastard, Valar has no family name. It was the only solution to keep Riverspring for House Sarwyck.
Why choose Valar for a suitor? What does the Queen want?
From what I heard while accompanying your sister to King's Landing for her audience at court, Valar distinguished himself through his exploits. I know that the Queen enjoys surrounding herself with strong, devoted men. That is the case for Valar. By giving him this gift, she ensures his loyalty and increases her power.
But Valar was just a squire when he went off to war with me. It would take more than that to be a suitor worthy of our name.
Seeing him return alone from the war, your father blamed him for your disappearance. No matter how much Valar claimed to work for the prosperity of House Sarwyck, your father wouldn't hear any of it. He cursed him and chased him away from Riverspring for good. Your half-brother was mad with rage and left seeking vengeance. Apparently, he spent several years at the Citadel, using education to compensate for his low birth.
A maester cannot become a lord.
He never became maester, but stopped at the rank of acolyte. He learned the art of war, studied the higher mysteries, and forged links. He was then thrown out of the Citadel several years later for studying the forbidden arts. He's been a sellsword ever since. His reputation spread quickly, and royal ears heard of him. In 2 years, he went from simple soldier to the Queen's Guard. He moves in the shadows. The nobles of the court fear him.
Valar. He has taken too much from me already. I cannot just stand by while he marries my sister.
There is something else of which we should speak. I would have liked to spare you this. I do not believe that your father's death was an accident. There are certain indications that lead me to believe that he was poisoned.
Are you sure?
Believe me, Alester, I know this subject. The Strangler is a difficult poison to detect, but it leaves certain traces that cannot be caused by anything else.
Did Father have any ongoing conflicts which could have prompted someone to murder him?
I am not certain, but there are rumors of a possible culprit.
Tell me who it is.
This may overwhelm you, but the rumors say that it is your younger brother, Gawain.
Gawain? He was but a child when I left.
He and Lord Reynold had some serious quarrels, and he disappeared on the very night of your father's death. We've had no news of him since.
Why? Why would he have done such a thing?
Maester Harwin, the people are rebelling. Rioting has broken out throughout the town.
With all of this festering discontent, it was only a matter of time before this happened.
Why would the people rise up with such violence?
Well, the lords left the castle after the burial with their fine clothes and all, whereas the villagers are starving. All of this flaunted wealth must have pushed them too far. Everything quickly erupted. They attacked the lords, taking them hostage.
How did things get this far out of hand?
One man used this opportunity to unite the mob against us. Some guards who hurried back from the marketplace mentioned a man, a certain Sarwyck, who was leading the rioters. He is organizing a revolt from there.
Then that is where we must go.
Captain Ryman says that it's impossible. Our men are barely managing to keep them at bay at the castle doors. There are not enough of us to attempt an escape.
Where is Captain Ryman?
He is at the doors. He's the one that ordered the barricades.
7 hells! If Ryman deals with it, the revolt will end in flames and bloodshed.
Riverspring has already suffered too much. I must join Ryman. Riverspring needs me. I will not watch our land fall into ruins without acting.
Very well. But I beg you to be careful. You are a Sarwyck. Act as a liege, Lord Alester, and know that your acts will have consequences.
I will do what must be done.
I am sure you will.
Well, well, look who's here. Dear Alester. What have you come for, my good cousin?
I hope you're thinking more clearly than you were earlier.
I have no lessons to learn from a coward.
Let's not start that again. Ryman, I did not come here to fight with you. What can you tell me of the situation here?
We've almost regained control of the southern part of town. My soldiers are about to clean it out. But in the marketplace, there are still skirmishes between rioters and people loyal to our cause. Nobles who came for the ceremony are still being held hostage by rebels on the docks in the northern part of town.
Very well. Let's go, Ryman. I want to see this for myself.
Really? His lordship would like to see this for himself? Well then, I'd be happy to accompany you to see this. I cannot wait to see you reason with this gang of peasants. I hope that blade at your belt is not just for decoration. Here, take my flask. You might need it.
die of hunger! Have the gate opened, or we'll set fire to your cursed castle!
Calm down. There is no point in going to such extremes. I am aware that things are not going well here, but burning down the castle won't make things any better.
So, what do you suggest? We are starving!
We cannot accept such unruly behavior. All those who continue to participate in this revolt will be severely punished.
So that's your solution? To intimidate us with armor and swords?
We can do nothing to improve the situation as long as the town is a battlefield.
Very well! We will not fight against you anyway with our rags and pitchforks. Come along, men! Let's go home!
Open this gate. I'm going to town.
Understood.
Keep away. We're just returning the fight. The town is ours now. We hadn't planned on killing him, my lord. It was just to teach him a lesson.
I understand your anger, but I will not accept such behavior inside these walls.
The Father watches over you.
Captain, I knew I could count on you.
The fight is not over, my boy. Try to find some place where you can make yourself useful. My God, are those my men? What are you doing here?
Captain, there are rebels everywhere. We had to hide here to get away from them. With only crossbows, we wouldn't have lasted long against a horde of peasants armed with pitchforks.
Are you men of the guard or not?
But it's an enormous crowd, armed to the teeth in the marketplace.
We will attempt to resolve the situation, but I will need your help. Go and position yourselves high on the roofs and balconies with a clear view of the square.
At your command, my lord.
Crossbowmen up high? I quite like that idea. It will lend weight to our argument.
They will not fire, Ryman. Our sole objective is to make the villagers see reason.
You are completely mad. Nothing good will come of this revolt.
You'd better think well, Baker. If you're not with us, you're against us.
Please, Preston, just listen to yourself. We've lived in the same town since we were little.
What's going on here? Attacking the castle guards wasn't enough for you. You have to fight amongst yourselves, too.
Ah, there are the guards. Milords, we are faithful to House Sarwyck, and we're trying to calm them, but it's impossible to make them listen to reason.
Traitors! You wish to continue living in squalor and eating only what the lords shit out?
Silence! I am the son of the late Lord Sarwyck. Who is behind this revolt?
He's a merchant who works at the port, goes by the name of Tyrek. He's well respected by the people of River Spring.
At least he's one of ours. He suffers with us and fights with us. He's the only one who's dared to act while we die in squalor.
Look at the balconies around you. Do you see the crossbowmen? They will fire upon my orders. So please, be reasonable and go home. I have no desire to add your deaths to this senseless bloodbath.
So this is how you choose to treat your father's people? Come along, men. We're going home.
My thanks, my lord. I was so afraid the situation would get out of hand.
Unfortunately, River Spring has seen too much of its own blood these last hours.
Tarek promised them that there would be no innocent victims, and those poor sods believed him.
That's what I like to see. My men here helping to crush this idiotic... revolt.
Do not stay here if you don't wish to end up like him. I warned you. Spare me, I beg of you.
Did you listen to this man as he begged you for mercy?
But he just struts around in finery while we starve.
You should have thought twice before acting.
You saved me from a terrible fate, Alester. I am ever so grateful.
So clever now that he's hanging there like a fat...
Many thanks, my lord. I don't know if I'd still be alive without your help. I think I can get into the castle on my own.
The town has gone completely mad. We must stop this as soon as possible.
You have to knock these idiots around to get them to understand.
It pains me to admit it, but it would seem we cannot resolve this without bloodshed. Stop! Leave that man be.
We're just taking back what is ours. These cursed lords have made our life hard for far too long.
Perhaps you want us to slit your throats, like the vultures you are.
It's been too long since you received just rewards for your labor, but things will change. Our town will soon be filled with the light of Relore.
Relore? What are you going on about?
Go home, and thank the Lord of Light for sparing your lives today.
Shit! The captain of the guard! Not a step further, or we will kill all of these lords!
Bastards! They're going after the burial guests. How do you want to proceed, Alester?
I am Alester Sarwyck. Release her immediately. I will not tolerate you attacking people with impunity.
Never! We've got nothing to lose! It's this, or starve to death.
Ryman, let's show them how justice is done in River Spring.
You leave us with no choice. Kill her, cutthroat.
You should never have done that.
Rosamund! Those vermin killed Rosamund!
The Lord of Light's flames will embrace her.
How dare you speak such words! Your worthless beliefs have no place here.
I am sorry if my words have offended you.
It would take more than apologies to wash away such blasphemy.
Poor woman. She didn't deserve that.
What were you doing, Ferryman?
The lords wanted me to help them leave the town, but these brutes attacked us before I could cast off the moorings. It's a good thing you arrived when you did. I didn't think I'd make it. Let me know if I can return the favor one day.
The fools thought they could stop us. They don't know us very well. Bloody lowborns! Many men of the Watch are dying today.
There are so many people, and they are so well organized. Too organized for a simple rebellion. Open the gate. I'm returning to the castle.
Very well.
Ah, there you are, Captain. We were about to execute these men. They must learn who's in charge here.
These people must have committed serious crimes if they are to be executed.
They were amongst the rioters. They must be guilty of something.
If you execute people without reason, the situation will only grow worse. Allow me some time to question them.
What shall we do, Captain?
These vermin don't deserve such kind treatment. But fine. Let's see what my cousin is made of.
Tell us why you're here, friend.
They started it. We just came to ask for something to eat. Shut your mouth, scum. You killed one of our men in the port and you will pay for that.
This man should be executed.
Understood.
This man was found near the dying body of one of our men. Look at him. He's pissed himself. You don't need more proof than that.
What were you doing near this guard's body?
I beg of you, my lord. I am innocent. I swear it by the Seven.
That is not what I asked. Why were you close to the body?
I am innocent. I did nothing. I killed no one.
Let him go.
Right away, my lord. You're finally to die, you piece of shit.
I've nothing to do with all this. My lot kept out of it from the start.
I don't give a damn. You've been a pain in our asses for far too long.
Get rid of him.
Understood.
You're making a grave error, my lord.
You'll pay for what you did, whore.
I wish you had been in your squalid house as it burned.
This woman must be executed.
I hoped you would say that, my lord.
Are you done, my lord?
Yes, but no one is to take such decisions in the future without telling me first.
Yes, my lord.
My lord Sarwyck, Tyrick, the leader of the revolt, has turned up at the castle doors. He will only negotiate with you.
The traitor finally shows his face. It's time to put a stop to this madness.
Our actions in town led him to react. He understands that his movement is losing momentum. Guard, tell him I'm on my way.
Very well, my lord.
At last! The man who everyone is talking about? The famous Alester Sarwyck?
I've also heard much about you, Tarek. You are the man who started the rioting which led to a full revolt.
You know nothing of our problems. Your family sits warm in your castle while we die of hunger in the streets.
You're right, Tarek. He did nothing to help us today.
I've made decisions which may seem unjust to you, but they were for the good of Riverspring. Our town is where it is today because ties with the lords of the Westerlands have been cut. To bring our lands back to health, we must gain the trust and support of the lords.
Alester, you have proven your abilities as a leader.
May the lords of the Westerlands rest easy. From now on, I will do everything in my power to restore Riverspring to its former glory.
You disgust me. You reveal yourself for what you are. Despite your actions during the rioting, you defend the privileges of the lords. Nothing changes. The people will continue to die of hunger, while the lords feast.
During the rioting, the people of Riverspring did not die of hunger. They died by the sword, Tarek. Do you not take any blame for having brought about these massacres? Riverspring has suffered heavy losses on both sides, the people and the guards alike.
The Guard will fight to the end for the survival of Riverspring, but your decisions did not help us at all. You've made enemies of the people with your excessive show of authority. You can't rule a town with the people against you.
The Sarwyck family will keep order in this town, whether it pleases you or not.
Your rule only brings us hardship. The people won't allow you to go on like this. Take up your weapons, lads! Let's show them!
Stay out of this fight, Ryman. I'll put an end to this madness myself. It is for the masters of Riverspring to settle this.